Okay, we're starting over here on the northwest corner. This is the green belt. Trees shouldn't be any closer than 25 feet to this structure, for root growth and development. Foundation. This is a post-tension slab, we can see, because we have the exposed tension ends here. There's several different types of post-tension. We know this is a type of post-tension. But it is a post-tension. This right here is what's known as a shrinkage crack. Some people call them corner pops. Call it what you will. But that is an aesthetic issue, and that's a brick issue. That's not a foundation issue. If it's in the span of a hand, and I don't know whose, and it goes this direction, then that is a shrinkage crack. What happens is that the cement is always drying and always shrinking. You'll never be able to measure it. The brick is always growing and expanding. You'll never be able to measure it. Then the brick and cement have different properties. They expand and contract to the elements, the environment, temperature, humidity, moisture, whatever, differently. And so they move back and forth. This poly, it never comes all the way to the corners. So it catches right there and it pulls. Now, you might want to, as somebody's repaired this. They've stuck it up in here. Stuff it back. No, maybe they didn't. You might want to repair it. If it falls out, you might lose a brick. But it's not a foundation issue. This siding on the north side, the back side of the home faces south. Okay, the siding's been replaced. You'd think so. This stuff doesn't last forever. So it's time. But you can see in here that the butt joints, one of the reasons why it didn't last as long as it's already, anyway, I don't know. But the butt joints were not primed, and flashing tape was not installed behind the butt joints. It never is. It doesn't give it a permission. We've got a vertical trim board here that's separating from the brickwork. Now, one thing I haven't noticed on this structure, is control joints. Some people call them expansion joints, like the lines out in the street. We expect the street to move. We don't want the street to crumble up. We want them to move along those joints. I haven't seen that on this structure, which is unusual. There's another exposed tension end. We got a little bit of erosion along here. Maybe because the lawn sprinkler head is located too close to the house. They're not supposed to be closer than 12 inches. So we're moving on along. These are called weep holes, and those are good things. All right. Home ownership 101. All roofs leak, all walls leak. We want them to shed water faster than they accept it. So most of the time it's just vapor that comes out of there. If you have an event, and I've seen a couple, but not many, and you probably, odds are you won't. But if it gets bad enough, you can actually see water pour out of the weep holes. But that's what they're there for. That's the reason they're there. So those weep holes, that's a good thing. So sometimes people if they have trouble with ants or something, they might put some Burlap pads, steel wool in there. Okay, these windows are double pane, aluminum frame. And we got a bit of movement around here. We got a little crack. That's a soldier brick because it's up standing straight marching. These are sailor bricks because they're floating across the ocean. Moving on along. The rain gutters are discharging water too close to the house. And we've got some stair step. This one's a little better. Hey, little buddy. Wildlife. How you doing in there? Yeah? What are you doing? Okay. I won't bother you. Get those ants. We got some stair step cracks from the brick and mortar around this window right here. Right down underneath the windowsill. We got some repair. Okay, so there's been some repair up here. It doesn't surprise me. We're in Carrollton. It doesn't surprise me. We got some mortar repair up here. Coming along, we're going to have a whole different speech about him. He's not level, and he's old. We do not have GFCI at the receptacles. The electric, we'll have another speech about him as well. bushes touching the house. This is the gas meter. It enters. We're reminding you we're on the west side of the house, and this is the gas meter right in there. So far, so good. Moving on along. We have. Did I mention this already? But we've got soffit vents. That's the air intake to your roof. All these bushes should be cut back. All these bushes should be cut back. We got another video for you too, sir. We do. We got more coming. There's a little bit of movement right inside that little niche. And we should have kick out flashing right here. Right there we should have some kick out flashing. I got some stair step cracks over here. This is the dining area, the formal dining area. We got a few stair step cracks right there. And a few stair step cracks right here too. Now this is about the only window that I found that's not directly underneath a freeze board. So we got exposed brick. This is one of the few windows on the house, maybe the only windows in the house, where the brick is above the windows. And when that's the case, if you remember the weep holes I was talking about before that allow moisture out, well, weep holes should have been installed over these windows. Moving on along. Coming in here, you see these holes? These holes, okay? Those are drill holes. The only reason to put holes in your foundation and your porch like this around the front door and other places is that you're drilling and you're applying product, which is code for poison. And the only poison that's suitable for this application, the only reason you would be doing this is for termite treatment. So we know that this home has been treated at least once for subterranean termites. These drill holes do not tell us who treated it, they do not tell us when it was treated, and they don't tell us which product was used. But that's what that means. And we'll be looking at the, oh, why not? We're over here. Inquiring binds. Okay, looks like it's going to be GFCI protected. Well, that's interesting. It says it's on. Oh, this one's on. Now it's on? Okay. Sometimes it's just gonna kind of get cranky. Might be operator error. The receptacle's over on the west side of the house by the air conditioning equipment. We're not GFCI protected. Let's see what these are. Kind of get in here. That was GFCI protected. That was GFCI protected. That's good. All right. Moving along. Looking at stuff. Okay, these are some other windows, by the way. This is doors, and this door and these windows, they should have weep holes above them as well. They should. Got a nice text just now. Good news. Stair step cracks right here above the front door. PVC drain lines, kind of expected for the age of the house. Rain bucket. Why do you have a rain bucket right here? Rain bucket. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm glad they labeled it. I would have never figured that out otherwise. Spinning out along here, we've got this carriage lamp, this wall sconce over here. One of the luminaries is burned out of it. And then you have a wall sconce, so they've sealed it. They sealed it. They saved me from complaining too much. They didn't stop me from complaining. Because that's what I do. We have kick out flashing right there. Right there, we sure should. Bear it with me. We're making some good time. Extra charge for the glamour shots. Trees too close, trees too close. Got any movement up in here? Ah, there's always some right there in the corners. You'll see just a little bit. You expect some. You do. And we got some mortar repair right in here. Coming along, bushes next to the house. They should be trimmed off. You should be able to see the foundation. You should. And again, butt seams were not, they just weren't. They didn't prime them. No, those jokers didn't do that. They didn't install flashing tape behind them. They didn't. Wood mulch next to the house, under the drip line. That's considered by the Structural Pest Control Board, that's considered to be a conducive condition. I got wood mulch next to my house. I kind of like it. But it's conducive. It's conducive. So, that's what it is. And this vent is stuck open. I don't know if you can focus on that or not. It should close. It should be clean. This is high soil. High soil. This faucet, unlike the others, this one does not have a vacuum breaker. This is the water heater temperature pressure relief drain line, and it's not supposed to discharge higher from the ground than 6 inches. It sure is. We got another one of those loose. Another one of those loose hillbilly home inspection. Got another one of them there soldier bricks with crack next to the window. Got some of those. Okay. And the metal overhead door should have a pull handle. They look ugly. I don't like them. I'm not talking about what I like. Don't have one in mind. But this top panel, and that's the first panel. Same thing with shingles, same thing with bricks. First course, second course, third course, fourth course, first panel, second panel, third panel, fourth panel. The top panel, the fourth panel's bent. The vertical door casement should not be in direct contact with the sidewalk, with the driveway, with the cement. Should not be that close. Will water wick up in there and rot it? You bet it will. Has it done it yet? Doesn't look like it yet. That's amazing. I wonder why that is. I surely would have bet differently. Coming on along, we got some, this is the vertical garage door casement. There it is right there, separating from the brickwork on the north side. We're on the east wall, by the way. It's called freeze board. We got some freeze board separation. It just lets us know that the structure's moving. It's pretty common. Just read any engineering report just about, and they'll say that they found it. They'll tell you, well, man, we got some separating on the freeze board. That's what they say. Fences next to the house, conducive by design. As far as the Structural Pest Control Board is considered, my meeting is I go out about 3 or 4 feet. You know, what happens to this fence happens to this fence. That's beyond the scope of either report, the TREC report or the Structural Pest Control. These portable sheds are not real estate improvements. Beyond the scope of this inspection, but look at that wood to ground contact, mulch next to it. You know, I mean, it's just sitting wood floor. This poor bastard, excuse me, he's just sitting right on the floor, just waiting to collect termites. Just waiting. So that's something to think about. I mean, you can get some use out of him, but wood mulch, wood mulch. Not seeing much in the way. Not seeing much of a way of cracking. This is even taking the repairs into consideration. There's not a lot of movement that's been, evident on this structure. Rain gutters should not discharge this close to the structure. We have a nice little pergola. Is that what we call this? Trellis, which is what a pergola is. It's the purpose of a pergola. It's not attached to the structure. But all these leaves are, this foliage. So it's conducive for wood destroying insects. It's going to make the report. And then I'm looking at it, and see this right here? Anytime you fasten structures together, a structural connection, it's supposed to be 3 fasteners. That's a fastener, 3 or more. And you're not supposed to use screws. Screws are faster, screws are tighter, I get that. But they do not have the same tensile strength as a lag bolt does. There's one lag bolt, one. Okay? They don't have the same tensile strength, and they do not have, well, that's what I'm talking about. They do not have the same, they cannot accept the same shear force that a nail. Nails and lag bolts, only two, see? Nails and lag bolts, like that, one, like that one, except can handle more strength. Now what's interesting about them using only one lag bolt here at all these connections is they've turned all these top rails into hinges. Without two, where's it going to go? We got some wood rot right in here. Look at that. Look at that good old wood rot right in there. We got some. These vines hanging on it. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I could sit out here. You know, somebody could smoke a cigar out here. I don't know who would admit to that. But watch. This thing, you know, a good wind is going to take this down. It's not long for this world. It's pretty much exceeded its economic life. Alright. Coming on along. Well, we're here. We're almost done. Just hang on. Hang on. Cool your jets. We're almost done. GFCI there. Even though this is GFCI, it did not trip. It tripped someplace else. So that GFCI was not necessary. That device. Because it's protected somewhere else. Again, the butt joints that I've been so fond of. Again, the wood mulch that I've been elaborating on. Again, the rain gutter is discharging too close to the house right there. Coming on along. This is where we started. The fence is locked. We might have started a different place, but we started over there to get around in this way. But what we're doing, you know, this is the same. If you remember at the beginning of the video, I said some of this has been replaced. And we kind of expect that. Then we come over here in these windows, and this is one of the few places where the fascia is not hanging over the windows. So what we're missing on these windows is Z-bar flashing. So Z-bar flashing should have been right up here. It would have been kind of awkward, but it's supposed to be there. And then we have wood rot. See that? See how soft that is? I could just poke right through that. And they painted it. That's good. That's good. They painted it. There you go. Ooh! Go back. Go back. Failed under testing. Failed under testing. And these windows are bleeding out, so the seal's pretty much blown in that window. We got any water back here? Sometimes we do. Yeah, we do. We got some water. All right. Well, we're going to move along to the electrical.